This is a continuation of Reality Shift. Please go watch part 1 and then return here for part 2. Let's get deeper into this last part. Before I knew it, there came a day when I met someone who shared a vision so wild, it never left my mind. He told me how all the brands in America were connected. He spoke of having his own business and using it one day to connect with other industries, and eventually, how he planned to become the President of the United States. That conversation opened something in me. The phrase, "everything is connected," kept repeating in my head long after we parted ways. Not long after, I met someone else, another soul just passing through. But we ended up spending a few days together. They shared with me that their brother had died by suicide. I remember saying I didn't want to be here anymore, and they stopped me. They told me to promise I'd never take that path. I didn't realize it at the time, but they were planting seeds of protection around my life. Then came another meeting, this time with a beautiful, intelligent woman who had once served in the military. She had children of her own, strong, vibrant, full of life. She looked me in the eye and told me that life was a game. That opened my eyes even more. She told me, "If you want to have a baby, then have one. Be a great mother. That's how we elevate each other." During this time, I had lost everything. The man I loved, my cousin, my family's support. My entire world felt like it was crashing down. My past came surging back with full force. Everything felt like too much. I started drinking heavily. I used even more. I didn't know what goal I was chasing. I just knew one thing. I didn't want to feel anything anymore. As I've said before, only God protected me during these times. Even on the days I didn't say a word to Him, He still chose to protect me. I reached out to Him for months, crying endlessly. I felt like I didn't deserve to live. The drinking continued. The drug use got worse. Eventually, it all led to me overdosing. And from that moment on, you could say, I rose from the dead. The day I overdosed, my body was already weak. I was tired. I was barely living. No one was reaching out to check on me. I was isolated, jobless, homeless. I got into a fight with my siblings. My sister smashed my car windows. I felt like I had nothing, and I was nothing. That day, I took a substance. No one was around. I collapsed to the floor, dead to the world for 6 hours. But during those hours, my Creator preserved me. He lowered my body temperature, protected me in my most vulnerable state, and raised me back up. When I woke up, my body was ice cold. I couldn't feel my tongue. I could barely feel the floor. My hands were frozen. I spent the entire day throwing up. Since that moment, I've told myself, Nina, save yourself. I never knew sobriety would be this hard. I tried to take walks. I failed. I got overstimulated easily. I tried running around the park. That didn't last long. I kept failing, over and over again. But I kept trying. In the dead of night, I'd scream to Allah, "Please help me. I can't do this. Ya Allah, I'm tired. I'm hurting. Please help me." It became a cycle. Then one day, I started cutting people off completely. I lost my car. I lost my job. I walked everywhere, sometimes for hours. I remember sitting by a cemetery one day, admiring the stillness of those no longer alive. I sat there, admiring both life and death. When I think back to that moment, I believe Allah led me there, so I could ponder my existence, so I could understand the preciousness of life. One day, I was walking from an immigration office to my home, a 2-hour journey on foot. I had no car. On that walk, I met a little bird. I saw it near some broken branches in a patch of green. The bird had a broken foot. I picked it up and placed it on my chest for a bit, then carried it in my hands as I walked home. I was listening to music in one earbud, holding this bird in the other hand. No support system, no friends. That bird became my best friend that day. And somehow, some way, a day came when the veil finally lifted from my eyes. I could breathe again. I kept learning to love the pain my ex-boyfriend had left behind. I mourned the broken girl who fought so hard to become the woman I am today. Sometimes I can still hear her painful echoes inside my soul, so I soothe her. We're okay now, I tell her. We're safe. Even that gives me chills. I'm also deeply attached to trees. When I was homeless, those trees provided me shade on the hottest days. I feel like they whispered to one another, asking God to liberate me. In my heart, I believe they prayed for me. My fascination with trees started when I was around 18. I know that's adulthood, but my mind was still childlike back then. Everywhere I went, I'd notice trees, how they stood tall, unchanged, unmoved by seasons. They've seen generations come and go, yet they remain standing, quietly providing for humanity, as if Allah Himself commanded them to do so. I'd get chills staring at them. This was before I even had full awareness, before 2022, before consciousness awoke in me. Now I believe those trees were guiding me toward awakening. I like to think trees scream silently for Allah to have mercy on humanity. And maybe that's why we feel peace when we sit under them. I once dabbled in tarot, but when I realized it involved praying to fairies, I stopped. I was afraid. I didn't want to pray to something I didn't understand. My final reading, I ended it with Ayatul Kursi for protection. I met people who believed they were gods. I didn't fit into that mentality. To me, it just didn't make sense. What God uses the bathroom? What God starves? What God gets locked in prison? What God can be manipulated by politics? I also didn't vibe with people who called themselves star seeds. It made me wonder, if you're from the stars, why can't you just go home? Why are you stuck here, arguing online, watching TV, working a 9 to 5? To me, no highly intelligent multidimensional being is going to sit here being programmed by the world. And what about those who claim to be children of the sun? To me, that's scientifically absurd. The sun is a massive ball of gas. That's not my Lord. That's just not logical to me. Then there are people who believe God has a wife or children or siblings. That doesn't sit right with me. There can only be one God. Otherwise, there would be chaos. Two kings can't run one kingdom. Just look at our world. Too many kings bring too many wars. That's why Islam makes sense to me. One powerful, singular force governing the entire universe. That's it. There's another belief I came across. The idea that I am you and you are me. I don't remember which philosophy it came from, but it made my head spin. People were saying I could also be the president, and I'd think, okay, if I'm the president, why can't I just take over the government then? That spiritual phase confused me. I couldn't do it anymore. Reincarnation? I'm not interested. If this life was already unbearable, why would anyone want to return again? And if we're coming back, why are the same people causing the same damage over and over? The cycle has to stop. I questioned all of it. Even Christianity. I once thought about converting. but I couldn't understand praying through Jesus or Mary. Why would I need someone else to deliver my message to Allah when I can talk to him directly? God had to be birthed by human to prove his God? Mary had to breastfeed God? And why would God die when he is eternal and self-sufficient? And watching how Christian countries disrespect their own religion, it broke my interest. The government aligns with Zionists. Zionists hate Christianity. They're using Christian kids for profit, and the government allows it. Most new laws benefit Zionist control. Slowly but surely, they are owning everything. Many, if not all, industries in Hollywood are run by Christian-hating individuals. Some of them don't even know they are contributing to this hatred. The goal plan is offering sustenance to the Christian nations by slaving their souls. In return, they unknowingly make profits that go against God's teachings. In the end of all my suffering, Allah guided me. I've seen so much. I've learned about frequencies, and the Quran holds the most healing frequency for the soul. Evil entities use music as a tool. Music traps the mind, freezes you in moments, in memories. That's demonic. Because life is meant to move forward. Maybe, just maybe, with a little more wisdom and truthfulness, we can all meet at the gates of heaven.